I am big. I am so big. I am big. I am so big. I am big. I am so big. I am big. I am so big.
Kiba Snowpaw stood silently, his gaze fixed on the horizon where the sky melted into the icy expanse of HowlStrom. Standing there, overlooking the vastness before him, Kiba's mind was a tumult of emotions. Determination, fear, and a sense of inevitability clashed within him. He knew the journey back to that day to confront him who had cast him out was not just a physical return but a confrontation with every moment of pain and rejection he had endured. It was a test of everything he had become since that fateful day. The world before him was vast and filled with both wonder and danger, a mirror to the journey that lay in his heart. As he contemplated the path ahead, a female wolf approached him. She bore a striking resemblance to Kiba, albeit 2 years his junior, with a look of determination that belied her youth. "I know you have to do this," she said, her voice steady yet carrying a weight of unspoken fears. "I don't like it, but I didn't stand up for you back then. You've shown me what it means to be a true alpha, how a real leader should lead. Because of that, I will stand by your side no matter what, even if it comes to you killing him." For Yuki, the moment was a culmination of years of silent observation, learning and growing. In her heart, a battle raged between the loyalty to her clan and the love for Kiba, whom she had failed to protect when it mattered most. Her decision to stand by Kiba now was fueled by admiration for the wolf he had become and a deep-seated guilt for her past inaction. She understood the gravity of what lay ahead and was prepared to face it, recognizing the strength and unity and the power of true leadership that Kiba embodied. Kiba turned his gaze from the horizon to the smaller wolf beside him. She might not have possessed his strength or magical prowess, but her intelligence and spirit outshone the brightest stars of HowlStrom. He leaned down and gently kissed her forehead in a gesture of gratitude and protection. "Thanks," he whispered, the word heavy with a mixture of resolve and apprehension. When Kiba was just a little wolf, only 10 years old, something really sad happened. He lived in a place that should have felt cozy and safe like a warm hug, but it didn't. Instead, it was where he felt the most hurt. His family, especially his dad, didn't see him as the special and strong little wolf he could be. They thought he was the weakest link in their proud family, which was like a team that always wanted to be the best. But there was one light in all this darkness: his sister. She was the only one who stood by him, the only member of his family who made him feel like he wasn't alone. She didn't have the harsh words or cold stares that the rest of the family had. Instead, she had hugs, kind words, and the kind of smile that made the worst days seem a bit brighter. Kiba's dad was supposed to be his hero, the one who would teach him how to be brave and strong. But instead, he became the biggest problem Kiba had to face. Instead of getting hugs and kind words, Kiba got yelled at and was even hit. Every time his dad was mean to him, it was as if he was saying, "You're not good enough to be with us," and his dad's voice, full of disappointment, was like a heavy cloud that followed Kiba everywhere, reminding him that his own family didn't see him the way he wished they would. This made Kiba feel really sad and lonelier than he ever thought possible. The marks from being hit would go away after some time, but the hurt feelings stayed inside, like invisible scratches on his heart. But his sister, she was different. She was his best friend, his secret keeper, and the one who told him stories of brave wolves who overcame big challenges. She made him believe that maybe, just maybe, he could be one of those brave wolves too. Try to picture how Kiba felt. He looked up to his dad, wanting just a little smile, a pat on the back, or any sign that he was doing okay. But all he got were frowns, mean words, and a dad who seemed more ready to scold him than to play with him. Each morning, Kiba hoped for a better day, a day when his dad would finally see him for the brave wolf he was trying to be, not just the little one who wasn't strong enough yet. But through it all, his sister was there. With her, Kiba didn't feel so small or alone. She was his beacon of hope in a world that seemed too dark. Her support and love helped him to start seeing himself not as the weakling his dad thought he was, but as a young wolf full of potential and strength, ready to prove to the world, but most importantly to himself, that he had the heart of a true warrior. As the days went by, Kiba started to feel like no matter what he did, it just wasn't good enough for his family. He tried really hard to show them he could be strong and brave, but it seemed like the more he tried, the more he got into trouble. It wasn't only about being physically strong. Kiba felt like just being himself was a big disappointment to his dad and everyone else in his family. But even in those tough times, Kiba had a secret helper, his little sister. She was always there for him, but they had to be really sneaky about it. They knew that if their dad found out she was being kind and supportive, he might get mad. So they shared their secrets, hopes, and dreams quietly, making sure that what their dad didn't know wouldn't hurt them. He often thought about leaving, imagining that being alone, cold, and hungry would still be better than staying in a place where he was always made to feel unwanted. But Kiba was still very young, and the thought of stepping out into the vast, unknown lands of HowlStrom was really scary. He didn't know what he would find out there, and the thought of facing the big world all by himself was frightening. Inside, Kiba was always fighting a really hard battle. He felt so sad and alone, like he was trapped in a dark room with no lights on. The mean words and laughter from others were like arrows that didn't just hurt his skin, but went straight to his heart. But you know what? Kiba didn't let these hard times knock him down. Instead, every harsh word and every time someone made fun of him made him even more determined. He wanted to show them all that he was strong, not just on the outside but on the inside too. With his sister secretly cheering him on, Kiba dreamed of being as unbreakable as the ice that covered his world. He wanted to learn how to stand tall and not let anything break his spirit. With each challenge, he felt a little bit of that strength build up inside him, like he was learning how to be as tough and as cool as the ice he admired so much. Even though things were really tough, Kiba's dreams and his sister's secret support made him believe that one day he would prove to everyone, especially his dad, that he was a brave and strong wolf, ready to take on the world. Kiba often felt like he didn't fit in, even in his own home. The other wolves would tease him, push him around, and act like he wasn't worth much. This made every single day really hard for him because he wanted to show them all that he was strong and could do great things, even though it seemed like they all expected him to fail. Living in HowlStrom was hard for everyone, but for Kiba, it was extra tough because the wolves who were supposed to be his buddies were the ones making him feel bad. But in this chilly and tough place called HowlStrom, where Kiba had to deal with being picked on and not treated nicely by his clan, there was one person who always made him feel better: his younger sister, Yuki Angel Snowpaw. She was 2 years younger than Kiba and was really smart. Everyone in the clan thought she was going to do great things because she was so clever. Even though she was expected to do big things, Yuki always cared the most about Kiba, her big brother who didn't get as much attention. Even though everyone else thought Kiba wasn't that strong or important, Yuki knew he was really kind and had a lot of good inside him. She was brave and sneaky, helping Kiba without anyone knowing. At night, she would quietly find food and other things Kiba needed and bring them to him without getting caught. Yuki was really good at making sure no one saw her. She was like a secret agent, always there for Kiba, showing him that no matter what, he wasn't alone. Yuki's secret help wasn't just about giving Kiba what he needed to get by it was her way of quietly fighting back against how unfairly Kiba was treated. She was smart enough to know that arguing with their dad or the whole clan wouldn't end well. She understood how things worked in their family and knew that standing up to them in a big, loud way could cause a lot of trouble, so she chose to help in a sneaky, quiet way, which kept Kiba safe and showed him how much she cared and stood by him. The special friendship between Yuki and Kiba showed how much they really cared for each other. Even though the clan treated them very differently, Yuki never let that make her think less of Kiba or love him any less. When Kiba felt all alone, he would remember Yuki's brave, secret visits, and that would help him keep going. She was the only one who was always kind to him, like a light in a dark place, making him feel hopeful and valued. The day Kiba had to leave their home, Yuki felt very sad too. She watched from a place where no one could see her, feeling scared and upset as she saw the clan, her own family, being really mean to Kiba. She wanted to yell out and be there for him, but she knew that would make things worse for both of them. So she stayed hidden, feeling heartbroken with every tough moment Kiba faced, her tears turning to ice because of the cold. After Kiba was gone, Yuki had to deal with feeling sad and guilty by herself. People told her stories that weren't true about why Kiba left, trying to hide how mean they had been. But Yuki knew what really happened. Missing Kiba made her feel a deep sadness, reminding her of the day she couldn't help him the way she wanted to. The connection between Kiba and Yuki, built during tough times and kept secret, turned into a very strong bond. This bond was so strong that it didn't matter how far apart they were, it felt like they were still together. For Yuki, being kind to Kiba in secret ways was how she showed she was on his side, even when it seemed like everyone else was against him. And for Kiba, remembering how Yuki supported him gave him strength and the will to keep trying, to prove to everyone what he could do, and to come back one day, ready to face everything that had happened. He didn't want to do this just for himself, but also for Yuki, the sister who had always believed in him. The day Kiba had to leave was really bad. The others in his clan didn't just ask him to go, they were mean and hurt him a lot. They hit him hard, over and over, and didn't care how much it hurt him. Kiba tried to protect himself and not get hit, but there were too many of them, and he couldn't escape their punches and kicks. Each hit made him feel a new kind of pain, and they kept telling him, "You don't belong with us anymore." As they were being mean to him, they also said hurtful things. "You're too weak to be one of us," they laughed, making fun of him while they hurt him. Their mean words felt just as bad as the punches, maybe even worse. Kiba was really hurt by this, not just because of the bruises and pain, but because these were wolves he grew up with, and now they were treating him like he was nothing. Feeling each hit, Kiba was really sad, not just because it hurt physically, but because it felt like a big betrayal. Being pushed away and told he wasn't wanted by his own clan, by those he thought were his friends, was the worst feeling. They made it clear he wasn't welcome, telling him to leave and never come back, and then they just left him there, hurt and alone. While all this was happening, Kiba couldn't help but wish his sister Yuki was there with him. Maybe if she had been there, things might have gone differently. Maybe they would have listened to her, or maybe they would have been mean to her too, and she would have had to leave with him. This thought made him feel even more alone, knowing that he had to go through this without her, the one wolf who always stood by him in secret. He felt so alone, lying there in the snow, wishing things could have been different. The day Kiba was forced to leave wasn't just about sending him away, it felt like they were trying to make it seem like he had never been a part of them at all. Alone in the cold snow, Kiba felt so many things at once. He was hurt from where they had hit him, really sad about having to leave his home, and very mad at how mean they were. But deep down, under all that hurt and anger, Kiba started to feel something else, a strong wish to show them they were wrong about him. They wanted to make him feel small and defeated, but instead they made him want to be stronger, to get better, and to come back one day and show them they didn't beat him. This really tough goodbye was the start of a big change for Kiba. It was the beginning of his big adventure. It was very hard and sad, but it was also when he started to find out how strong he really could be. It was the first step on his way to becoming a great wolf, the kind of wolf he was always meant to be. After he had to leave his home and everyone he knew, Kiba was all by himself, feeling very hurt and almost ready to give up. He found a small cave, a place to hide from the really cold wind and snow outside. In that cave, he lay down on the cold, hard ground, too hurt and sad to even move. He was there for a long time, feeling lost and alone, and thinking about everything that had happened. He was at his lowest point, wondering if anything he knew before even mattered anymore. As the days went by, Kiba started to feel really hungry. This hunger reminded him that he needed to find food if he wanted to stay alive. At the beginning, he was too weak to do much, but he knew he had to try. So, he managed to crawl to the cave's entrance to see what he could find. The first thing he could eat was wild berries. They were all around the outside of his little cave. The berries weren't much, but they helped Kiba feel a bit stronger. Little by little, as Kiba started to feel better, he tried to catch small animals for food. It wasn't easy at first. He was still weak, and he didn't move very well. But Kiba didn't give up. He kept trying, and with each animal he caught, he started to feel stronger and more sure of himself. Time passed, and Kiba got better at finding and catching bigger animals. He was learning how to survive better every day, and he was also getting really good at using ice magic. After 4 or 5 years, Kiba noticed something really cool. The more he used his ice magic, the bluer his eyes got. It was like his eyes were showing how strong he was becoming with his magic. It seemed like he was changing, becoming more connected to the magic he could use. Then, something really amazing happened to Kiba. One morning, after he had been practicing his magic a lot, he woke up to see a bright, ice-blue star shining right on his forehead. This star seemed magical, pulling energy from everything around him and making his own magic even stronger. Kiba didn't quite get what was happening, but he felt excited, like he had just found a hidden treasure inside himself that he didn't know about before. As his eyes turned a deeper shade of blue and the star on his forehead shone even brighter, Kiba figured out he had found some very special magic powers. These were the kind of powers that not many have, really rare and super strong. It was as if these powers had been hiding inside him, waiting for the perfect time to show up. While Kiba was alone, under the beautiful night skies filled with colorful lights, he often thought about his sister Yuki. He remembered how she always helped him secretly and believed in him, even when it seemed like everyone else had given up on him. Those memories were like a light for him in the tough times. Standing there, far away from the home that didn't want him, Kiba wished Yuki could see him now. He wasn't the little, weak wolf anymore. He had grown into someone strong and full of magic. Getting these new magic powers was a big change for Kiba. It wasn't just about being strong, it was like a sign that he was meant for big things. Every time he used his magic, and every time his eyes sparkled a bit more blue, Kiba felt like he was meant to do something important. It was like the magic of HowlStrom itself had chosen him to be its protector, to keep its secrets and maybe even to help make things right. Kiba often thought about how Yuki would feel if she saw the ice-blue star on his forehead, a sign of his special magic powers. Would it make her surprised or happy? He really hoped it would make her smile and show her that all the times she helped him secretly were worth it. Kiba really wanted to share this big win with her, to tell her that her believing in him helped him a lot. This new magic power Kiba found wasn't just for him to use all by himself. He thought it could help make a better place for everyone who felt left out, who others didn't understand, or who were treated unfairly, just like he was before. He dreamed of making a safe spot where being strong meant having a big heart and being brave enough to care for others. A place where Yuki and others who felt scared or judged could be happy and safe. As Kiba got ready to start this new adventure, to find friends who believed in the same good things he did, and to question the old rules about what makes someone powerful or a good leader, he made a quiet promise to Yuki. He planned to come back to her, not just as her brother who had to go away, but as a leader who had learned a lot. He wanted to show her and everyone else that being a true leader means giving hope, keeping others safe, and bringing them together. This new part of Kiba's story wasn't just about him getting stronger, it was a light of hope for a better tomorrow. A future where people stick together, respect each other, and are ready to face any challenge because they know they're not alone. At the center of Kiba's dream was his hope that Yuki would see the kind of wolf he had turned into, a hope that kept him going on his path to not just making it through tough times but becoming a great leader. I started laughing, feeling kind of wild and free, thinking about the whole crazy thing. Here I was, a wolf that everyone thought wasn't strong, and now I had the most amazing ice magic there was, all in just 10 years. If only they could see me now, I thought to myself, laughing. But then, after a bit, I started to feel sad and began to cry, remembering how mean they were to me for no reason at all. If they could see what I can do now. Life's been really hard. Out here in the cold, facing one challenge after another, I've had to learn so much so quickly. But finding this magic, like a hidden treasure I never knew was there, has changed everything. With this powerful ice magic, I feel like nothing can stop me. This magic lets me do more than just make things cold. It's like I'm pulling the freezing air itself, creating ice that's sharper and colder than ever before. There are different kinds of ice magic, but now I can mix them and use them in ways nobody else can. I can make things so cold, they make everything else seem warm by comparison. When I combine my ice with snow or wind magic, it's like setting a trap nobody can escape, turning the very ground into a weapon. Getting this strong, learning to use my magic like this, has been a real adventure. Every challenge, every fight teaches me something new, shows me different ways to use my powers. But realizing I have this kind of power is a mix of feelings. Sure, I'm way stronger than I ever imagined I could be, but remembering how they saw me, how they treated me like I was worth nothing, that still hurts. I wonder, if they knew what I can do now, would they see me differently? Would they regret how they treated me? Maybe it doesn't matter. I'm not that same weak wolf anymore. I've got this incredible ice magic, and I'm going to use it to make my own way, create my own path. Nobody's going to look down on me again. Through all the battles and tough times, Kiba's gotten really good at using his ice magic. He can make ice spears that aren't just cool to look at but are super sharp, walls of ice that are super strong, and huge snowstorms that confuse and defeat his enemies. Winning all these battles has made him incredibly skilled with magic, like he's become one with the natural world itself. But Kiba didn't just want to be super good at magic. He had a bigger dream. He wanted to show his old clan and everyone else that being really strong isn't all about how much magic you can use. It's also about the kind of wolf you are on the inside and the friends you make. He imagined making HowlStrom a better place, where the leader isn't just tough but also kind and wise, and where everyone sticks together because they really care about each other, not because they're afraid. Kiba's adventures, especially after he became amazing at using arcane ice magic, started to give others hope. It showed that things could change for the better, that there's a different way to lead and be strong together. Kiba was at the front of this change, leading the way to a new era where ice wolves are united by respect and loyalty, not fear. While exploring the wild and dangerous places of HowlStrom, Kiba found himself face to face with a huge, scary bear, the kind that wolves whisper about in their scariest tales. This bear had fur as black as the deepest night and eyes that glowed red, giving it a really spooky look. Rumor had it that this bear was once gentle but got cursed by a wicked sorcerer, turning it into a creature that spread fear and destruction wherever it went. And then one day it met Kiba. While fighting the big, scary bear, Kiba had a lot on his mind. Every move he made in the fight felt like he was also fighting against the bad things from his past. The bear, turned mean and scary by bad magic, made Kiba think of the leaders in his own family who were mean and used fear to keep everyone in line, kind of like how the bear got cursed. Fighting this bear made Kiba think about all the tough times he had when he felt left out and picked on by others. But in this battle, Kiba's special ice magic, the really strong arcane ice, was his best tool. This magic was super powerful, linked to the deep, old magic of the world, and it let Kiba use the power of winter to help him fight. He could turn his feelings and strong will into ice that could slow down and even hurt the bear. The most important part of their fight was when Kiba created an ice spear that glowed with the colors of the northern lights. This spear wasn't just a normal ice spell, it was all of Kiba's feelings and his strong determination made into a weapon. When he struck the bear with this spear, it meant more than just winning the fight. It was Kiba's way of saying he was done with the bad things from his past, and that he wasn't going to let those dark times hold him back anymore. After Kiba won the fight against the bear, he felt an incredible rush of excitement. He could almost sense the magic flowing through him, making him feel incredibly powerful. But then something unexpected happened. For the next 3 days, Kiba followed some tracks that took him to a different clan. He let them find him on purpose because he noticed something interesting: these hunters didn't seem as scary as the ones from his old clan when he was younger. Kiba was curious about this new clan and felt sure that he could get away if he needed to, thanks to his strong magic and new confidence. When Kiba arrived at the new clan, what he found was really upsetting. The wolves were in bad shape, some were very hungry, others had injuries, and they all looked pretty miserable. As soon as Kiba saw the alpha, he understood why things were so terrible. This alpha was acting selfishly, keeping all the food for himself and being mean, especially to the female wolves, treating them very badly. Kiba felt a strong anger inside him, like his blood was turning into ice. He didn't bother with the hunters, he just pushed past them and went straight to the alpha, telling him he wanted to fight. The way this alpha was running the clan was like a bad dream. He was strong, but he used his strength in the wrong way, to push others around and make them do whatever he wanted, without caring about anyone else. Kiba really didn't like this. He had seen enough of bullies and knew he had to stand up to this one. Challenging the alpha wasn't just about showing off who was the strongest. For Kiba, it was about standing up for what's right. He had come a long way from the times when others saw him as weak. Now, he was strong, not just because he had powerful magic, but because he wanted to use his strength to help others. He wanted to show everyone in the clan that a true leader looks after their pack, instead of making them scared. The fight with the alpha was about more than just winning or losing. It was Kiba standing up for kindness and fairness. He was ready to use all his ice magic and everything he had learned to stop the alpha's mean ways and make things better for the clan. A big battle was about to begin. Kiba Snowpaw stood right in front of the alpha, a very big and mean wolf who made everyone scared. The alpha thought he could boss everyone around just because he was the leader. But Kiba, who used to be seen as weak, was now ready to prove he wasn't the scared little wolf he once was. Looking at the alpha, Kiba remembered all the tough times from before, like when others made fun of him and made him feel alone. But the alpha was doing something even meaner, especially to the girl wolves, and that made Kiba really mad. He thought about all the times he felt hurt by bullies, and he knew he couldn't let the alpha keep being mean. He took all those feelings, the pain, the anger, the sadness, and used them to make his magic even stronger. The fight was super intense. Kiba was quick, jumping out of the way and then coming back to attack. He wasn't just fighting with his claws and teeth, he was using his special ice magic in new and amazing ways. He created sharp ice spears and big ice walls to protect himself and to go after the alpha. It was like Kiba was using the coldness and power of winter to help him in the fight. Kiba really wanted to push himself, to face a challenge that would show just how far he had come. He decided it was time to end the battle. He focused all his energy and feelings into creating an enormous ice spear. This wasn't just any ice spear, it glowed with the beautiful, shifting colors of the northern lights, a symbol of Kiba's strength and determination. This moment was about more than just fighting, it was about everything Kiba stood for. As Kiba launched the spear at the alpha, time seemed to stand still. The air around them got colder, and it felt like the whole world was holding its breath, waiting to see what would happen. The spear, shining with light and power, flew straight to the alpha's heart. When it hit, there was a moment of silence, and then the impact was explosive. The alpha turned into a statue of ice, frozen in place forever, a final end to his rule of fear. In that moment, Kiba felt a mix of emotions. There was relief that the fight was over, sadness for all the pain that had led to this point, and a strong sense of hope for the future. He had stood up to the alpha, showing that true strength comes from protecting and caring for others, not from bullying them. The clan watched in awe and fear. To them, Kiba seemed like a creature of legend, a powerful force of nature that could be a god or a demon. They were scared because they had never seen such power before, but they were also amazed. Kiba's display of magic and the way he defeated the alpha made them see him in a new light. After the battle, Kiba didn't just leave. He stayed there, knowing things would be different now. He didn't fight just for himself, he fought for all the wolves who were scared or hurt by the alpha. Now the clan had a chance to be happy and safe, without fear or bullies. Kiba showed everyone that being truly strong means standing up for what's right and taking care of each other. When Kiba Snowpaw became the new alpha, it was a big change. He didn't just win a fight, he got the chance to make things better for his pack. Kiba wanted to create a place where everyone felt safe and respected, not scared or bullied. His leadership was like a new beginning, making life better for everyone by being fair, kind, and courageous. Kiba's story became a beacon of hope in HowlStrom's cold and challenging world, proving that tough times can lead to great things if you keep dreaming and trying. Being the alpha was more challenging and lonely than Kiba had ever thought it would be. He learned that being a leader wasn't just about being in charge, it was about being like a guardian, always ready to defend his pack from any threats. He felt like a big, protective shield, working hard to fix the damage and fear caused by the previous mean leaders. As the leader, Kiba had a lot to think about. He remembered how hard it was to be left out and teased. Now that he was the alpha, he wanted to make sure no one else felt that way. He spent a lot of time planning how to improve his pack's life, making sure they had enough food, a safe place to stay, and that everyone was treated right. For Kiba, it was crucial that the pack felt like a family, with everyone caring for and supporting each other. But even with all his great plans, Kiba often felt alone. Being the alpha meant he had to make tough choices and couldn't always play and have fun with the rest of the pack. He had to think about how to keep his pack safe from the dangers of wild animals, harsh weather, and sometimes unfriendly packs. All these responsibilities were heavy, but Kiba was committed to being the best leader he could be. Kiba's adventure from the wolf, who was doubted by everyone, to the alpha everyone looked up to, was like a roller coaster with lots of highs and lows. But no matter what, he kept his eyes on what he thought was right. He didn't just use his magic to win battles, he used it to create a better place for his pack to live. Kiba showed everyone that being strong isn't just about having lots of power, but about using that power to take care of others. Kiba Snowpaw had big plans for his pack. He dreamed of a future where they wouldn't just survive, but thrive, with plenty of food and water, a big change from the hard life they were used to. And there was this really big, mean creature living nearby that made their home feel unsafe. Kiba knew that to move to a better place, a place where they could be safe and happy, they all needed to be brave and ready for any challenge. For Kiba, being the alpha was more than just being in charge. He wanted to build something that would last, something that would teach everyone a new way of living together. He envisioned a future where the pack supported each other, faced challenges together, and got stronger as a team. As Kiba worked towards this dream, his journey became a story of transformation, not just for him but for the entire pack. They were all part of an exciting quest for a new home, with Kiba leading the way with his cleverness and strength. When Kiba took over as alpha, it was a chance for everyone to start over. The wolf who led them before Kiba was selfish and scary. He only cared about himself, used his power to bully everyone, and made life miserable for the pack. Those dark times made the wolves feel isolated and forget their strength when united. Kiba's leadership was a breath of fresh air, offering hope and a vision for a future where everyone felt valued and strong together. Kiba was a very different kind of leader. He never wanted any of his pack to feel scared or alone because he knew exactly how that felt. Being left out and teased was something Kiba remembered all too well, and he was determined not to let his pack go through the same thing. He spent lots of time planning ways to make life better for everyone. Kiba wanted to make sure they all had plenty to eat, a safe place to sleep, and most importantly, to feel like they were part of a big, caring family that always had each other's backs. With Kiba in charge, it was like a brand new beginning. He saw so much possibility in his pack, especially in those who hadn't yet discovered their full ice magic abilities. Kiba believed that being strong wasn't about how hard you could hit, but about using your abilities in smart and helpful ways. He took the time to teach them, helping each wolf grow their magic from a tiny spark to a big, shining light of skill and self-belief. This didn't just make them better at protecting themselves, it also made each wolf feel proud and valuable. Kiba's biggest dream was to get his pack ready for whatever was next. He wanted them to be strong on their own, not just when he was there to lead them. Kiba taught them to be good at lots of things and to really care about and support one another, making a team that worked well together, no matter what. This meant lots of practice fighting and using their ice magic, making sure everyone could do their part to keep the pack safe and happy. Under Kiba Snowpaw's leadership as alpha, everything changed for the better in the pack. It was like he had a magic touch, not just with ice but with hearts too. Before Kiba, the pack was sad and didn't really work together. but he showed them how to be strong, not just by being tough but by caring for each other and working as a team. They got ready to move to a new home, a safe and happy place, and it was all because Kiba taught them to believe in themselves and in each other. They felt ready for anything, all sticking together. Kiba made everyone in the pack feel special. He could see the magic in each wolf, even if they hadn't found it themselves yet. Kiba thought being powerful was more about being smart and kind than about how big your muscles were. He spent lots of time helping everyone practice their magic and learn new things, making every wolf feel like they were an important part of the team. This helped the pack not just be better at protecting themselves, but also made them feel proud and strong inside. Kiba had big dreams for his pack. He didn't want them just to follow him, he wanted them to know how to take care of themselves and each other. He organized all kinds of training, teaching them how to be brave fighters and how to use their ice magic in cool ways. Kiba made sure everyone had a role, helping the pack become like a big family that could face any challenge together. Being the alpha wasn't just a title for Kiba, it was a chance to make everything different. He took a pack that was once scared and unsure and turned it into a group of wolves who were confident and united. They went from being a bunch of wolves who barely got along to a strong pack that looked out for one another, all ready to start a new life in a place where they could all be happy and safe together. Under Kiba Snowpaw's guidance, the pack transformed. They went from a group that didn't really get along to a strong team ready to support each other. Together they were preparing to find a new, safer place to live, a big step up from their current home. Kiba's leadership style and the pack's hard work made them feel unstoppable, as long as they stuck together. Kiba wasn't just going to be remembered as a powerful wolf but as the one who united them all and led them to a happier home. Becoming the alpha was a huge journey for Kiba, filled with many challenges. He remembered the loneliness and feeling of not belonging when he was younger. Now, as the leader, he was determined to make sure no one in his pack felt that way. He put a lot of thought into improving life for the pack, ensuring they had enough food, a safe place to rest, and a strong sense of community. For Kiba, it was crucial that the pack felt like a family, where every wolf cared for and looked out for each other. However, leading the pack sometimes made Kiba feel isolated. Being responsible for all the big decisions meant he couldn't always relax and have fun like before. He constantly worried about protecting the pack from external threats, like dangerous animals and storms, and figuring out how to deal with other packs that might not be friendly. It was a heavy burden, but Kiba was committed to being the best alpha he could be. One of Kiba's main goals was to create a welcoming environment in the Ice Wolf clan for every wolf, no matter their strength or magical ability. He especially didn't want any wolf to feel overlooked or undervalued, as he had felt in his youth. Kiba spent lots of time with the younger wolves, mentoring them and helping them discover their strengths. He believed every wolf had something special to offer and wanted to give each of them the opportunity to shine. Throughout all these efforts, Kiba stayed true to his beliefs. He didn't just use his powers for fighting, he used them to forge a better life for his pack. He demonstrated that true strength isn't about how much power you have, but how you use that power to improve others' lives. Kiba Snowpaw's time as alpha didn't just alter the course of the Ice Wolf clan, it redefined the essence of strength and kindness, inspiring everyone to come together and aim for a brighter, more inclusive future.